I think our sports medicine staff is kind of like the first line of defense. We got to protect these players' safety and well-being, but also, put them through the grind of practices, meetings, and stuff like that. There's just a lot on their plate, so if we can do anything to kind of help ease that for them and take care of them along the way, I think it's a big deal. Yeah, it is a huge team deal. Myself, we have Daniel, LA, and Sierra, and then we also have some students in the fall. So they do a big job of what we do. Throughout practice, we're constantly communicating with the guys, but then also with dealing with 130 football players, it helps to have a lot of hands on deck, and everybody brings a little bit of uniqueness to their craft, and so we use it all together to kind of give the best experience that we can.
Our training staff and sports medicine staff have done a really good job. We don't do anything without approval from them, and we meet every day. I ask for feedback. Hey, how was check-in? How was, have we got them spaced out enough? Are we doing that the right way? When we come out to the practice field, all right, the things that we're doing out here, is there anything we're doing that's not right? And we take that feedback, and if there's something that they don't feel good about, we change that.
Yeah, so we're in constant updates with coaches, via text. Obviously, we have staff meetings every day, but I think having that rapport with the coaches are big, because a lot of times, growing up in this, in this profession, sometimes the athletic trainers can be deemed kind of like a grim reaper, because we're always the bearer of bad news. But if we can kind of keep that relationship open, then some of our conversations can be easier, whether the information is good or bad on that day. I think that's the number one goal in this profession, is the trust and the communication with your student athletes. If you can develop that, then I think the athletic training, the sports medicine side will come. If these guys don't trust you and don't feel like they're in a safe environment to kind of open up to you, I think that can be a bad outcome. But I think moving forward, the relationships, I think for myself and our staff, are probably the biggest piece, to kind of keep things loose, but then also, provide great care as well. We're very protocol oriented here, as we already are, but with COVID, policies are constantly changing. Brandy Klaus, our director of sports medicine, does a good job, as well as Justin Lancaster, our team doc. So we're constantly working, with CDC guidelines, state official guidelines, and trying to give the best possible care to the student athletes during this difficult time. Yeah, before practice, it's kind of a madhouse in here, getting guys taped and treated, especially during the COVID situation. We're constantly checking guys in, doing temperature checks, doing screening, so adding that on the top. And those guys get to meetings, and then after practice takes place, make sure we get the proper hydration. Then after practice, we do a treatment. And then and then in the afternoons, we typically do our rehab session. So the rehab's a huge importance, to the sports medicine department. We do a good job using, lots of modalities and also rehab equipment, because I think that's the most important piece. We're fortunate here at Georgia Southern to have a HydroWorks, so we can do some underwater therapy to kind of help guys get back. But also, I think we do a good job on the mental health side of it. That's more and more becoming in the profession. So, using counselors and giving people the resources that they kind of need to kind of get back, whether it's from a physical standpoint or a mental standpoint. During the season, I'd say we probably go through several cases, if not more. So cases, 32 rolls of tape. Coach Lunsford kind of allows the guys either to get taped or braced, so that can cut back on it. But we go through our fair share of tape, on a game week. So I enjoy my job every day. There's some long hours, and there's some times that are tough, but at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I think watching these guys come back from injuries, or watching them create milestones and relationships with their their players, or even with our staff, I think those are huge deals that I enjoyed being a part of this, and it doesn't feel like work.